Welcome back, Pokemon trainers. Professor Chaz here, lab coats on back order, and it's time for our final Break Evolution video in the Pokemon TCG online videos. So it's going to focus on Chesnaught BREAK, which, as you'll see in the deck builder, basically it is a difficult Pokemon to get into play and powered up quickly. Because you'll see you have to go from basic Chespin, evolve to Stage 1 Quilladin, Stage 2 Chesnaught, and then Break evolve into Chesnaught BREAK. So that's basically like 4 turns to get it into play. And to power up its final attack, a Tough Hammer I think it's called, you got to get 4 energy on it. 2 grass and 2 colorless. Of course you could speed it up with a double colorless. But anyways, I'm not going to get into too much strategy here, we'll wait till you see the cards. I just want to make a mention though, it's kind of funny how, if you've been seeing my videos along the way before Breakthrough came out, what I would focus on is try to make the non-EX Pokemon from each set viable, because the EXs are super powered and we all know that they are very important to win your matches in TCG. What I like to do is try to show off ideas and strategies using the non-EXs and show how the underdog can actually stand up to the EXs in the right situations. So when the Breakthrough came out, or when Breakthrough expansion came out, I saw these Break evolutions, I thought, okay, so we're going to be able to take our non-EXs and put them on an even playing field. Now that I've been using the Break evolutions, I see some of them seem more powerful than some of the EXs. So I don't know, it's just kind of funny that I, as a person who is like, I'm going to stay away from EXs unless requested by the viewers. Like I've done a few EX decks already. I think Blaziken EX and Sceptile EX are a couple. It's funny how I'll try to stay away from them myself, thinking there's plenty of other people out there talking about the EX strategies. I'm going to show off the non-EXs, but as soon as the breaks come out, I go for those, and I have like massive power. Like I'm going to say my favorite deck was the Marowak Break deck. If you haven't seen that, check that out. It's on my channel. It's really crazy the strategy I put together with it, and it was really fun. So anyway, all that being said, let's get into the deck builder for the Chesnaught BREAK deck and see what I've assembled to try to get these powerful Chesnaught BREAKs into play a little quicker. Let's begin. Now let's take a look at the Chesnaught BREAK deck I've assembled in TCG Online, which I'm calling Hammer Breaker. Get it? It sounds like Hammer Brother from Super Mario Brothers. Alright, so as mentioned, it's going to feature Chesnaught BREAK, and that is right here. Tilt your head sideways, you'll see Tough Hammer for 2 grass, 2 colorless, does 160. This Pokemon does 30 damage to itself, and this attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Don't apply weakness and resistance to the bench Pokemon, as always. So there's really not too much strategy to change that ability, that attack. Do a decent 160. I've got one tool I'm including in the deck. I think it's 2 copies of the tool, but something just to make that recoil non-existent. But the trouble here is you have to evolve from the basic Chespin into Quilladin, into Chesnaught, and into Chesnaught BREAK. That is normally going to be 4 turns to get this Chesnaught BREAK in play, and to use the attack, it's going to take 4 energy. So we're looking at ways we can speed things up. Now, first of all, I am going to go with 2 Chesnaught BREAK. I'm going to use 2 Chesnaught, but not from the Breakthrough set. I'm using the X and Y base set Chesnaught. The ability Spiky Shield says if this Pokemon is active and is damaged by an attack, or an opponent's attack, put 3 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. Now, since the possibility is the Tough Hammer is going to be hurting Chesnaught BREAK for 30, what we want to do is be able to have some good healing. So the base set, or the X and Y base set Chesnaught has the touchdown attack, also for 2 grass, 2 colorless, 90 damage, and you heal 20 from Chesnaught. So that's one way you can keep yourself a little bit healed up and in play. I've got 2 of those Chesnaught. I went with 3 Quilladin. These are also from the base set. Wood Hammer does 70, 2 grass, 1 colorless, and it does 10 to itself, so there's a lot of recoil possibility in this particular line of Pokemon. I got 3 Quilladin and 3 Chespin. I kind of grabbed one of each from the Breakthrough set. Why did I go to that one? One of each from the Breakthrough set, each of which has Seed Bomb, which does 30. Now, we want to try to get these into play a little bit quicker, because as I said, under normal circumstances, it's going to take 4 turns to evolve into Chesnaught BREAK, 4 turns to power it up. I'm actually going to include a trio of Illumise from various sets. Illumise from the X and Y base set. Mainly, the first attack is what we're going to focus on. Pheromotion. Search your deck for a grass Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterward. We want to be able to get those evolved forms of Chespin into our hand as soon as we can. And to speed up the energy powering of that Pokemon, the other Illumise that I'm using from the Primal Clash set, I've got 2 of these, and the first attack, Helping Hand, says search your deck for a basic energy card and attach it to one of your benched Pokemon. Shuffle your deck afterward. So that's in addition to that 1 energy that you can play per turn, possibly getting 2 energy per turn attached to one of your Chesnaught, and getting that Tough Hammer powered up within 2 turns as opposed to 4. So that is 13 Pokemon in the deck. We're going to take a look at the energy cards, if I could scroll down. Just one sec here. There we go. The scroll bar wasn't visible. And we've got 2 double colorless energy to try to power up the Chesnaught Break attack a little quicker. And I'm going with 11 basic grass energy, so that's going to be a total of 13 energy in this deck. Now the trainer cards will start with a couple of energy retrievals. We have 2 Evo Sodas to help evolve quicker. A couple of freshwater sets because we will have some possible recoil on our Chesnaught. We want to be able to heal up, so I got 2 of those. 2 level balls to help find some of our lower HP Pokemon. Could help with the Illumise, but it's mainly going to be used to try to get the Chespin or Quilladin out of the deck. And we're going to be able to play them a little bit quicker to evolve, as you'll see in a moment. 2 Professor's Letters to get some basic energy. And since we might lose some Chesnaught and Chesnaught Break during the battle, I do have Super Rod, so we can shuffle 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy back into the deck. We have 2 switch cards, because if you didn't notice, that is a pretty hefty retreat cost on Chesnaught at 4 energy. We'd like to be able to maneuver ourselves around without losing as much energy as possible. So 2 switches, we got 1 Ultra Ball in case we need to make use of a search for any Pokemon. 2 Versus Seekers, because of course I like to run a lot of supporters, and Versus Seeker gives you the option of retrieving anyone that you've used, use it a second time. And those supporters start with Bridget, going to load up our bench with some basic Pokemon. Lysandre, going to be able to switch your Pokemon or your opponent's Pokemon around on the battlefield. Pokemon Center Leader to heal up. 2 Professor Birch's Observations, because we want to try to get a decent hand of Pokemon and energy, not energy so much, but the Pokemon more, most certainly. So we can get a fresh hand using Professor Birch. Tierno will let you draw 3 cards. I've got 2 of those in the deck. I'm going with 2 Wally this week. Get 2 possibilities to evolve a Pokemon, and you can use that on the same turn you played that Pokemon. I've got a Zero Stick in here as well. Now I'm going to include 2 of the Forest of Giant Plants. We want to play one of those as soon as we can, as long as we have a decent hand of, Chespin evolutions, because this lets grass Pokemon evolve during the very first turn that they're played. So if I do, say, have a Chespin on the bench, and I happen to have Quilladin, Chesnaught, and Chesnaught Break in hand, which could happen using the Pheromotion attack, then the Forest of Giant Plants allows me to evolve immediately into Chesnaught Break. Now, once we do have our fully evolved Chesnaught Break, we want to have one of these Shrine of Memories in case we don't have enough energy to power up its strong attacks. At least Shrine of Memories will allow Chesnaught to use some of its previous evolution's attacks, so it can still do something on the battlefield. Now we want to try to keep the Illumise in play as long as we can, so we're going to include the Hard Charm, try to keep it from taking too much damage, and keep using whichever attack, either the Grass Pokemon Search or the Grass Energy attachment. Try to keep them in play. And to deal with the recoil of Chesnaught Break's Tough Hammer, I'm including 2 Protection Cubes. When you attach this to a Pokemon, you prevent all damage done to the Pokemon this card is attached to by attacks that it uses. So that 30 damage recoil, even though it's not that much to worry about, at least we're going to be able to negate that. Now, just for the off chance that we come across an EX that we can't quite deal with that well, I'm including the Jamming Net. So we're going to attach this to an opposing Pokemon EX, and the attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to do 20 less damage to all defending Pokemon. This actually works really good too if they have a spread attack that does like damage to my bench. It's going to reduce damage by 20 to all of my benched ones as well. So that is the deck. We got 13 Pokemon, 13 energy, and 34 trainer cards. Let's get into a match on Pokemon TCG Online and see how well the Hammer Breaker does. And we're going up against Lettuce. Well, let us get into this battle, shall we? We're going to flip our coin, call for the heads, and we get heads. Alright, so we get first choice. Do we want to go first? I'm actually going to let them go first, because if I do start with one of my Illumise, I can use their attack on my first turn to start powering up my Pokemon. Of course, I don't start with any basics at all for the first hand, but neither do they. We see a Lightning, we have Dark Pokemon, Psychic Energy. Okay. Not sure what my opponent's strategy is going to be. Couldn't really decipher any of that from that first hand. And we do start with basic, Chespin. Not the one I would have liked to start with, but it is what it is. We're going to go with it. We do have some good draw support with Tierno and a level ball, though. So they got a Fan Club for 2 basic Pokemon. We start with a little Paris from BREAKthrough. Just like, oh, okay, Mewtwo-EX just took the attention away from poor little Paris. One of the, I think it's this, is it the secret rare, or it's definitely a full art. I think, yeah, this is the secret rare, because it's a number 163 out of 162 cards. Almost like when there was 150 Pokemon in the first generation. Which number was Mew? That's right, 151. Alright, Psychic and Dark Energy. So this is the one with Photon Wave. I thought it was Shatter Shot. And Cyburn for 120. So we definitely got some decent power on the opposing side. I'm going to first thin the deck a little bit by getting a level ball. We want to grab an Illumise Pheromotion. That's the one that can let us find other grass Pokemon from within the deck. Now let's play Tierno and draw 3 additional cards. I would have liked to get a switch card of some sort, but unfortunately we didn't get that, so we're going to attach a grass energy to Illumise. Next turn, what I'm going to do is attach a grass energy to the Chespin, retreat it, and then I can start using Illumise's attack. So from the looks of it, they're just keeping Paris out there to sort of maybe take some hits while they power up on the bench. They have a Chespin as well. It's got the Work and Seed Bomb. It's interesting, there's 3 different Chespin in the Breakthrough set, and all 3 of them have Seed Bomb for 1 grass, 2 colorless, doing 30 damage. There is the Shrine of Memories, going to allow our evolved Pokemon to use their previous evolution's attacks, but as said, we're going to attach Grass Energy, we're going to retreat. I don't know if I want to use Tierno just yet. I could use the Versus Seeker to bring it back. I'm going to hang on to it, actually. Let's go Pheromotion. And look for a Quilladin. There's one. And done. Into the hand. So since I do have Chesnaught already in hand, all I gotta do is look for Chesnaught BREAK and we're all set. What I'm probably going to also want to do is try to get the other Illumise that can start powering up the benched Pokemon. Crocodile. So they definitely got some real decent power on their bench. And the active spot, not so much. They could, of course, retreat now, which they're going to do. Alright, so 30 damage. We're going to be able to survive another one of those. And fortunately, we're not doing any damage, like we're not trying to attack. Level Ball came in very handy, because I'm going to get that other Illumise right now. But the one in the active spot hasn't finished its job just yet. So we're going to play this Illumise, we're going to attach energy to this one, evolve to Quilladin, and now we're going to play, we're going to go for the Pheromotion attack, and look for Chesnaught BREAK. And there we go. Next turn, my plan is to retreat this active Illumise, bring up the benched one, and start using that Helping Hand. Okay, they're going to power up for a Cyburn, it looks like. No, we did actually survive that. Okay. Another Chespin, we'll play that. Evolve into Chesnaught. Now, I could heal with the Pokemon Center lady, but there's really not much point. In fact, I'm going to play Versus Seeker, bring back Tierno now, see what else we can get in our hand. There is another Versus Seeker in the deck, of course. So we're going to play the Jamming Net, try to weaken this at least a little bit. And we do have 1 Grass Energy in the discard. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to retreat first of all, bring up this Illumise. We're going to play the Energy Retrieval, bring back those 2 Grass Energy, and immediately going to toss one right onto the Chesnaught. So let's go with the Helping Hand. I could have used Twirling Sign, but I think I want to try to power up our Chesnaught a little bit quicker. So if we are lucky enough to draw a double colorless, we are going to be set up to do some decent damage with Chesnaught BREAK next turn. So the opponent shuffles their hand away with Shauna, draws 5 new cards. And there's the Cyburn powered up. Professor's Letter lets them find 2 more basic energy from within the deck. Probably Psychic and Darkness, I'm thinking. Because they're going to need to start getting Darkness energy to power up the Crocodile. In fact, they might want to go for, well, a Grass, apparently. I was thinking 2 Darkness, because Crocodile is definitely their heavier hitter at the moment, behind Mewtwo-EX. So, Cyburn brings down the Illumise. Wonder if Tree Climb would be a thing. Probably not. I'm going to bring up this Illumise. As sad as it is to say, all the Illumise in this deck are focused on getting things in play and basically fainting after they've done their job. Let's attach a grass to the Chesnaught. We're going to use Wally right now to thin the deck a little bit. Get a Quilladin. Because we do have Chesnaught in hand to evolve a second Quilladin up. And that's all we can do. We're going to end the turn. And we're really, really banking on getting another grass energy. Okay, Tierno, they're going to draw 3 cards as well. Now, I don't remember, did they play an energy last turn? I don't think they did. I think they used the Professor's Letter. Or maybe they attached the energy before they played that. So there goes our second Illumise of the match. Alright, it's all coming down to this. Go on, Chesnaught. So there's Tierno. Definitely want to play that immediately. There's an energy we needed. Okay. Onto the Chesnaught. Protection Cube onto the Chesnaught. Evolve to Chesnaught BREAK. Evolve Quilladin to regular Chesnaught. And we're going to go for a Tough Hammer. 160 to Mewtwo, and anyone we can knock out here? Paris is weak. We can go, actually, we're going to go to the Chespin. Now, of course, the Mewtwo-EX did survive with 10 HP, and they're only going to be able to do 100 damage to us with the Shatter Shot, which we can heal a good chunk of using the Pokemon Center Lady. Not to mention the touchdown attack itself will be able to heal 20 more. Actually, if the Mewtwo attacks us, they're going to knock themselves out thanks to the Spiky Shield. I'm realizing so many things about my own cards within this one turn. It's amazing. So they're carefully planning out what to do. They could retreat the Mewtwo-EX, but then again, the Tough Hammer will take it out onto the bench as well. So, unless they have a way to heal all of that damage, they've just lost their Mewtwo-EX. There is a Manectric-EX added to the bench. Steven lets them find a supporter and a basic energy card. What are they going to go for? A Tierno to draw more cards, and whichever basic energy. Not to sound like I'm, getting full of myself that I'm going to win, but I don't think whatever energy they choose is going to... wait a minute. Assault Laser will do 120, since I have a tool attached. Okay, so that is 100. Knocked itself out. Alright, 2 prize cards. We get a basic energy and a super rod. So which one comes up? Now what I was thinking, it's going to do 120. If I heal 60 with Pokemon Center Lady, that's 140. I'll survive an Assault Laser. So definitely heal up. And now we're going to Evo Soda, get the other Chesnaught BREAK into play. And we're going to attach a basic energy. Now, the option is I can either touch down now, knock this out, heal back, or I can play the Shrine of Memories, which is actually what I'm going to do. Shrine of Memories, allowing me to use previous attacks. Actually, I didn't need to play that. I was thinking of using... Well, what I want to do is use... I'm getting all confused. Tough Hammer. I want to knock out the Chespin and put some damage onto this Manectric-EX, since it is the biggest threat. But at least having these Shrine of Memories in play will really only benefit my side, giving me more options of what to do. The only Pokemon that could make use of it on their side is their evolved Crocodile. But I don't think its basic attacks are going to really help them in this situation. So they're going to draw 3 more cards. As I said, the Assault Laser will only be 120, possibly 140 if they attach a Muscle Band, but that's still only going to be 180 damage out of 190 total. Chesnaught BREAK will live on for one more turn. So here comes a pretty decent hit. Although they got more cards to play. They got an Elgium. And there's the Assault Laser. So 30 damage back. Forest of Giant Plants. I don't need that because I've got my Grass Evolved Pokemon fully powered up. I'm going to play the Freshwater set for whatever good it's going to do. In fact, actually, yeah, I'm going to play that. And I'm going to get rid of the Shrine of Memories, just in case that Crocodile does gain enough energy to attack. And now we're going to go with the Tough Hammer. And we'll damage... How much does this have? 140? We can one-shot that with Tough Hammer anyway. Let's damage the Paris. 2 more prize cards for knocking out another EX Pokemon. We've got 1 prize remaining in this match. Crocodile comes up. Again, like I said, we can just one-shot that with another touchdown. Now, it can use Bother, which will gain the knockout. It's going to Spiky Shield itself for 30 damage. Then it all comes down to, can I actually get a double colorless? So on a flip of tails, nothing happens. But if they flipped heads, I couldn't play a supporter card. Alright, come on. Now, if I don't get double colorless, that's fine. I can get some basic grass energy. I'm going to thin the deck a little bit more. Unfortunately, since we did get rid of Shrine of Memories, Chesnaught BREAK cannot attack this turn. We're going to end it right here. Next turn, we do have this knockout secured. Even if they go for a knockback. So my opponent is in a pretty tough spot. I always find it a little worrisome when I have no bench Pokemon, because what if they do something completely unexpected and, you know, take out my only Pokemon in play? But I don't see that happening at this point. I'm trying to think what possibilities I can go for. I really don't think they have anything they can do. If they pull something out and surprise me, then that's going to be pretty impressive. Another Professor's Letter. Going to thin their deck a little more, grab 2 more basic energy. I think they're just basically hoping to thin out their deck and draw the best possible cards they need. But if they can't play anything this turn, it's not going to matter because, as I say, this Crocodile is 1 Tough Hammer away from... They're going to shuffle that entire hand of cards away. There was nothing useful in that. That is really unfortunate for my opponent. So down to 5 cards. Can they manage to pull through and find something of use? Another double colorless. They could retreat the Crocodile, but why bother? Spiky Shield. Alright. All we need to do is throw a Grass Energy, and just to heal, I'm going to touchdown actually. Secure the knockout, heal 20, take the last prize of the game, and Chesnaught BREAK ends off our Break Evolution Extravaganza with another victory. Congratulations, you Grass-type Kalos starter Pokemon. And we gain a ticket, and done. So the heavy hitter of Chesnaught BREAK with the Tough Hammer is definitely a viable contender in these battles, as long as you're able to power it up quickly enough, which we do thanks to the helping hand of some Illumise. And with this battle, that's actually going to round out my coverage of the Break Evolutions from the Pokemon TCG BREAKthrough set. That is all 6 of them. I think out of all of them, my favorite was probably the Marowak one because of the crazy strategy I put together of knocking out my own Milotic. It was just so fun to like quickly power up and just knock the opponents out. So I would say Marowak is one of my favorite ones from this particular set as far as Break Evolutions go. So I'm going to try this again with the new set that comes out in February of next year, or this year, depending on when you happen to watch this. It's the Break Point, and there's, I believe they say 5 more Break Evolutions, including Greninja BREAK, Golduck BREAK, and I can't remember the other ones they mentioned so far. But definitely I'm going to look into doing some strategy online with those Break Evolution Pokemon. Now, I've got a few more things to, like, you know, a few more weeks until that actually comes out. If you have any other cards from the current Breakthrough set that you'd like to see me form a strategy around and put an online deck together, leave that in a comment down below. Let me know what you'd like to see for next week, and I'll try to put together a deck using whichever cards you want to see. And also, leave a comment, let me know what you thought of this battle. If you have any suggestions on how to improve this deck for anyone that might want to try to recreate this, I'm sure there's, you know, better strategies that can be put into it. This worked out well today, but you never know, there could be better ideas. So if you have any of those suggestions, leave them in a comment as well down below, and hopefully you can help out some other people who might want to try to recreate the success I had today. Alright, and that's going to end off this week's Pokemon TCG Online battle. Thank you for checking out this video, and come back next week and see which cards I put together for another online battle. Until then, I'll catch you next time.